Hey guys, welcome back. Another day, another Transformers video. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, more legacy evolution stuff. And I'm loving the fact that we're getting all these different figures out there. This time is, at least as they call it, Comic Universe Bludgeon. Um, Want to get this figure? This is obviously based on the Tarn mold, which again is another figure. I think it's based on the IDW comic book series. This guy, I think, may have made appearances in Marvel Comics way back when. I've never seen this guy in at least in a cartoon show that I can remember. Mainly being a G1 guy, I'm only familiar very briefly with this guy from, I guess, his Marvel comic book appearances. But right here, you could see Bludgeon in all his glory. Again, using the Tarn mold, so very similar in shape and look as Tarn, and really cool looking figure there. No plastic window. There he is. And again, the Legacy Evolution here on the back. They show you, of course, his robot mode, 27 steps, and of course his vehicle mode with his sword. Looks like his Evil Fusion is the ability to combine his cannons into one bigger bazooka or gun, which is pretty much the same thing that you could do, I think, with Tarn. But pretty excited to get this guy again. It's really cool that we get figures of guys like this, right? It doesn't just have to be all G1. So it's pretty nice that we're expanding. At least I'm expanding my collection into these other figures. But I'm gonna open this up and give you guys a look into this guy. Okay, guys, so here I am back. Got a Bludgeon here out of the cardboard, the box there. A couple of things. If you are familiar with Tarn, which is what this mold originally was, pretty much you get similar accessories. You get his cannons here with this piece that normally goes attached either on his arms or on his back as a backpack. So this is I guess, bit of a red piece, a bit hollow, but again, it does well for the part. This is just going to go either on his back or to hold the guns. Sorry, the cannons. The cannons themselves are clear plastic painted over. These don't fold or anything. I guess I'm hoping it being clear plastic that it doesn't crack, but I haven't seen any issues. It's painted really nice. You got that nice bright orange and gray with the black barrel on the cannons. And similarly to Tarn, these are both different sculpts, right? They do look slightly different here. You could see them, but the silver is really well done. The black, it's nicely done, and again, the orange looks really well. Fits this guy really cool. As I said, you can stick these here on the backpack, or I mean, I call it the backpack, but he can also use this as a arm cannon if you so wish. You can attach this to his arm and have it look something like that. This does pivot, so you can pivot that section and stick it so it looks a little better like that. So we'll take that off for now. And him being Bludgeon, of course, comes with this awesome sword that, in my opinion, is really well done. Nice detailing there on the gray, silver rather, and then of course the red handle. I do like the design here by the hilt. But yeah, it's cool that I now have a Transformers with a sword, Bludgeon. Of course, you do get instructions. Again, if you're familiar with the Tarn mold from Legacy, this is pretty much the exact same figure transformation-wise, so the steps are similar. Now, of course, onto the main show here is this guy, Bludgeon. I'm not too familiar with the character other than I know he was in some comics. As well, they may have used the name of Bludgeon for other characters as well, but nonetheless, I am glad that Legacy is expanding into giving us all these different Transformers, different universes or cartoons or movie lines. I think it's great that everyone who is a fan of everything is getting something in this line. Myself being a G1 fan, I've gotten quite a bit of that, so it's nice in this case to get something a little different. This is a cool looking figure. If you like Tarn, you will definitely like this one. And me personally, I loved that mold. That figure was awesome. Again, I wasn't too familiar with Tarn myself, the character, but this figure here, this mold, I think it looks awesome. It's got good presence. He just looks pretty badass just standing there. Obviously, I think they did a good job turning the Tarn mold into Bludgeon here. So, along with that theme, you get a new head here, and you could see it there. Trying to bring you up close. The head, I love the head. It's really well done. No light piping, although it looks like it is made out of clear plastic there. But I mean, whatever details there, it's really well done. I love the mouth, the eyes, and then the whole headpiece. I think they did an awesome job there with the head. Moving on here, the chest is clear plastic, which I'm hoping doesn't cause any issues with cracking or breaking. But the orange, I love the orange. I love the brightness, the clear orange, and then the painted over orange. And of course, the Decepticon insignia there in purple looks really well done. The details there on the chest are really, really cool. Then you got some green here on the waist, which again, it goes well with what the character is. Same thing on going down to the legs. Thankfully, my copy doesn't seem to have any issues with paint missing or scratches, so that is really cool. But the detail is there again. It's really well done. Same thing now moving on to the arms. You got these giant tank threads painted in black. So again, some nice detail there. Forearms, you got some red and orange to sort of match up the motif of the rest of the bot there. You got this big feet, which I actually do think fit this character really well. Going on the back, again, very similar to Tarn. He's got the same cool little backpack here, and it's not, it's not egregious or anything, but it fits in really nice in there, nice and tabbed in. You've got these two cool little antennas in the back, and the back looks really cool. I guess my only small gripe in this mode is some of the hollowness here on the back of the legs, which Tarn also suffered from this. But it doesn't bother me too much because, again, I think it helps with the articulation. One thing that I would hope Hasbro or Takara would have done a better job with this one is to maybe add some additional detail on the waist to maybe give him sort of like that skirt or that look that he had in the comic, right? This guy, at least from what I've seen, he looked a bit more like, I guess, like a feudal samurai type of thing. So he had his a bit of a skirt hanging down here, which I think would have looked cool and would have further differentiate him from the Tarn mold. But as is, I am very happy with this thing. Not only does he look cool, but he is extremely poseable. The figure is extremely poseable. You've got the arms here that you can pretty much do that too. You can move them fully around. You've got here and here. He can do 90-degree. You can turn this fully around. The waist is fully articulated as well, so you can try and turn it, but this thing's going to get in the way, so just be really careful. But as far as most of the poses that you're going to need to do with this guy, you're going to get them there. Kick, that's awesome. Knee, and then of course he can move his the feet can move this way that much, and you do have a bit of ankle articulation there to get him in some cool poses. Legs, I mean, that's awesome. And then of course the head, he can look up. He can look up. That's a pretty good range, and he can look down as well. Not too much, because of the whole chest here. And the head you can't get it to fully turn around. Things get in the way, but again, for the poses, I think that's sufficient for me. But overall, that's what I love about this figure. Not only does the paint deco look really cool, but if you wanted to, you can put this guy in some really, really cool poses, and he looks awesome. Really cool there. Again, I'm so happy that we're getting these kind of figures. As I mentioned, you can use this sort of like as a bit of an arm cannon. So if you wanted to, you can attach this to his arms there. He looks like that. I personally prefer to use this as a bit of a backpack. So you can do that if that's your thing, depending on you could put this here, and then he looks something like that. And I do think I like the backpack option for this guy just because I think it gives him a bit more I guess presence for me. So I like to sort of pose him like this. And then of course his sword can fit in any of his hands, and you know, you can do some sword poses. The cool thing too is similar to Tarn, these hands are articulated. So if you needed to open them for whatever reason for posing, then he looks really nice. I gotta say, I'm really happy with this figure. So there you go. Looks really cool. As far as transformation, I will attempt to take you through the transformation. It's been a while since I've transformed this guy, so let's go for it. Let's see how many mistakes I made. So let's take the backpack off for one. First thing we need to do, as far as I can recall, you go back here. This whole section pulls out and it's also able to rotate here. So first thing we are going to do is pull this out slightly like that, and you'll see it loose. That's a bit of a hinge here, and you're gonna slightly lower this so that you see it right there. Then we're gonna take these sections here, these antennas as I call them, and we're gonna put them in there. They go, there's little tabs in there for them to go in. Mine are a little loose. Hopefully I won't have any issues with that, but for now we'll leave that like this. Then put these arms up and take this head here, and you're gonna untab it and push it all the way back. Try to get it in there as best as you can. So you put the head back. Next would be this chest piece here. Again, it being clear plastic, just be a little careful with it, but you're going to slightly pull it out, not all the way, just slightly. Next thing to do here is these arms here. You're going to see they can be pulled out, and then we're going to rotate them. So once you pull them out, you're going to slightly rotate them this way. Same thing here, right? And then we're going to rotate them all the way down like that. And they don't need to be pushed in again. You just kind of rotate them and they sit there. Now what that will allow you is, this will give you a chance to then take this orange part and make sure it's tabbed in there so that it sits in place really well. Next thing is the feet here. You're going to see there's a little tab here. Put them both together, fold these in, and you're kind of, for the most part, good to go there. You also need to unclip the knees here. So you bend them in, but you also need to slightly pull them out like that. So for now, leave that like this. We are going to then take this section here that we pulled out and turn it around. And you'll see here, I don't know if you could see here, but there's where my thumb is, there's a little nub there that goes into this section here. So we're gonna pull this down, and it's gonna go tabbed right in there. I don't know if you could see the hole that it goes into. Boom, it kind of just sits in there. Good. Now, before we bend, essentially these legs are going to go folded over here. We're going to need to work on the arms here. So a couple of things to do here. You're going to undo these parts. So here in this section on the thread on the one arm, you're going to take this and open it. Same thing here. You're going to take this side and open it and just leave it like that for now. And then we are going to then take these green sections here on the arms and just turn them fully around. You'll see here, you're going to take this, and as far as they can go, they're going to sit like that. All right. So what you'll notice here is that these arms are going to get tabbed into here, right? So if you see this section here, this where my thumb is, it's gonna go tabbed in here. So you need to make sure that this is facing that way and facing that way. And then this is on a, this is gonna bend in. I don't know if you guys can see that like that. This is gonna bend in and go tabbed in here. So make sure you get the hands out, the feet out of the way, and you're gonna get that tabbed in there. Same thing here. So you're gonna take this, fold it in, fold the arm as much as you can, and tab that in there. It's gonna look something like that. Then you're gonna take these sections here on the tank threads on the shoulders, what used to be the shoulders anyway, and you're gonna pull them out. They're tabbed in there. And then this is gonna slide in here. So you'll see I fold this in and it just slides into place. And then I take these and they just sit in there. So same thing here. You're gonna take this, untab it, fold it in. It's gonna slide right underneath this green sections here. That goes in there, and then you're gonna take this and just let it sit there. Now the hands here, part of the transformation, per the instructions, these are supposed to be facing down. So you can do that now. I know in the instructions, this turning the hands comes in an earlier step, but you could do that now. These hands kind of go facing down. Once you have the hands facing down like that, this is what we're left with. And now essentially you're going to take these legs and fold them over. They're going to get tabbed in sections here and here and also here. So you're just going to take this and tab it into the green sections. There you go. This is going to look something like that. And at that point, we're pretty much done. This is what it looks like on the bottom. And then what we could do is we could take these section, which is what I call the backpack or the cannons, whatever you want to call it. And this essentially goes tabbed in here. So you'll see those two rectangular tabs, they go in here. So you could take this and tab it in and boom, you now have your cannons looking like a tank. The instructions do say you could tab this in anywhere, right? Per the instructions, they do tell you to tab it back here. So you have something that looks like that. But for me, in this mode, I'm gonna put the weapon away somewhere. Now, again, if you are familiar with Tarn, then pretty much this is the same mold. So it's the same tank mode, same transformation. But again, I do like this tank mode here. It looks really, really cool. I love the cannons on top, and granted, they can't pivot up and down too much. You can turn them fully around so he can shoot Autobots or whoever he wants to. These little antennas here, well, I call them antennas, but now they act as turrets or guns. Again, here's a chest piece in the front, and this is what you look like on the bottom. The only part I don't like about this transformation is, well, the fact that the hands are kind of just hanging there on the back. I really don't like when they do that. But again, I do appreciate this bot mode. Again, if you like the tank mode for Tarn, this is pretty much the exact same thing. And it's a good thing. Other than the hands just hanging out back, I think it looks really, really cool. Okay, guys, so here we are back in robot mode. Overall, really happy with this figure. Just want to show it there alongside the Tarn mold. This is an awesome figure, and I think the way they've done the colors and the different head and the different paint applications have really made another awesome figure here in Bludgeon. But just want to show you guys there a little bit of up close. Of course, the whole different heads, but the rest of it is pretty much similar. Of course, you see there the differences with the chest. And then other than that, it's pretty much color differences, right? You see of Tarn holding this as cannons, whereas in this guy, he's wearing the backpack. Of course, Tarn didn't come with a sword. Bludgeon does. There he is holding his pretty big sword. But overall, I was so happy with this one, and I think this is another one that, to me, again, it's going to be awesome to have this guy in the collection. Again, as I mentioned, the minor issues to me would be in vehicle mode, the hands just kind of hanging out there. I mentioned earlier, in robot mode, the feet are kind of a bit hollow in the back. So if that's something that bothers you, then, it'll bother. If it bothers you with Tarn, it'll bother you with Bludgeon here. Couple of little things. The joint on this guy on Bludgeon are a little looser than they are on Tarn, at least on my copy they are. So just something to be aware of. And then also I had a bit of an issue here with these two turrets or antennas on Bludgeon. They felt a little loose here, so I had to kind of push them in here on the rounded section so that they're a bit more secure. But other than that, I think those are minor complaints for me. I mean, it's nothing that necessarily ruins a figure. He poses really well. He stands there looking pretty cool. So of course, first comparison, there he is next to his mold-made Tarn, and those look absolutely badass. Okay, guys, so as we wrap up the video here, very happy to have Bludgeon here added to the collection. I think it's an awesome mold. Here he is standing next to Tarn. Both of them looking pretty badass. So again, go out there and get yourself a Bludgeon, man. He looks really cool. Some comparisons here in case you're interested. Here is what he looks like next to Slag. I just had a Studio Series Slag here, just kind of chilling. So I'd figure I'd show you guys what these two look like together. Again, he looks pretty awesome next to a giant here like Slag, or Slug as he's called now. Here he is next to Siege Optimus Prime. And this is Earthrise Optimus Prime. So to show you there, they're very similar in size. Again, completely different lines, but I think they have this cohesive look there. So they do look really good together. We'll move these two Optimus out of the way. Here he is next to Twincast and Rodimus Prime. I'm kind of forgetting which. I know this was Legacy as well, but it wasn't Studio Series. And this is from Kingdom, Rodimus Prime. So again, I think that looks apart. That looks really cool there. Different lines, different figures, all existing together in harmony. Here he is next to Earthrise Starscream and Blitzwing. So again, completely different lines, but again, I think they do look really cool together. There we go. We'll move them out of the way. Here he is next to DevCon, which was a G1 figure. And even though they're different sizes, different lines, different looks, different shows, different sources, I actually do think that looks really cool. And then, of course, want to show him next to Cyclonus. Here's a Cyclonus here. We'll put him there. Cyclonus is a bit more chunky and a bit taller. But again, I think Bludgeon there holds his own. And then, of course, here he is next to G-Axis. And again, I'm so happy that we're able to get all these different figures. I think having, for example, these three together, which I was familiar with G-Axis and Tarn, but not well versed. Again, I'm mainly a G1 guy. But it's nice to be able to get all these different characters and that I wasn't familiar with and get figures of them, right? It's really cool. We now have these three guys and they look awesome. They look the part. But anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, if I missed anything, certainly let me know. If you have any questions and I can answer them. Thank you so much again for your very valuable time. But Bludgeon's definitely a get if you can get your hands on it. But Anyway, nothing much else to say. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. Really appreciate your very valuable time, and I will catch you next time.